So Barcelona won. They beat Real Sociedad 2-0. It wasn't exactly a clear destruction or as obvious as a 2-0 looks because we scored the last goal in the last few minutes, but there were some very interesting things with the setup. Most notably, the way Araujo was not in the lineup today, with the way that teams have been playing in behind against us. It could have been concerning, and I think it was in the beginning. They were finding space there early on, and Kubarsi was struggling a little bit with Becker, but they figured it out. Charles Becker had a solid game in the first half, but I think we did a solid job locking that down. Obviously, we didn't concede a goal today without Araujo in it, and that's not something we've done for a little while. I'm very happy with the way this team defended, but also we saw some pressing from the side that we haven't really seen. There was one instance where we forced a corner because of our press being too much for their defenders. It's small. It only happened once, I'm pretty sure, but it is a big deal for us because our press has been weak and it has been played through successfully a lot this season. But today, it worked a couple times. Now, Real Sociedad also played throughout of it. La Real was solid today in their ball movement, but as the game went on, it was okay. It was solid, and I'm happy with that from this team because they haven't been great with it. Rafinha is a big reason for that. I'll get into the player ratings in a little bit, but I don't think this setup was astronomically different from what we've seen. It was the same 4-3-3 kind of thing, with Christensen actually playing further up, Pedri being the deepest midfielder, the back line being the same, except Kubarsi's on the right, Inigo's on the left, Cancelo pushing up further than Koundé, and it looked solid. I think Pedri was occupying that deepest lying midfield space pretty well. I don't think his progression was fantastic throughout the game, but when he got forward, I loved watching him link up with Gundogan. There were a couple of instances that were very promising, but didn't necessarily lead to the goal. But the way we created goals was exciting as well. Especially the first goal. It was a counterattack that we didn't slow down at all. Somebody made that point in chat where we slowed down a lot on counters, but in this moment, we didn't at all. And we kept going. Lamine hit a great shot first time. Very solid from everybody, and very solid link-up play as well. But there was no major difference from the way this team played compared to how they have been playing. Christensen pushed up forward. Gundogan played forward in the midfield, occupying a similar role. Robert Lewandowski dropped deep. Rafinha occupied the middle whenever Lewandowski moved out wide, and they all rotated a little bit. Lamine stayed all the way against the touchline on the right side and did his thing over there. So it was the same thing we've seen, but I think it just worked a little bit better today against a decent team. Obviously, they haven't played great this season, but it worked okay, and I'm proud of the team for doing that. Now, let's get into the player ratings for today. Starting with Ter Stegen, I don't think he made any incredible saves. I think he was solid on the ball. I'm going to say a solid 7. I don't think he did anything wrong, really, nor did he do anything fantastic. 7. No mistakes. I'm happy. Moving to the back line, Koundé, I think he had a really good game. Helped the team defensively pretty well. Didn't move forward a lot. But we haven't really seen him do that much recently, and I'm okay with that. I think he was solid 7 as well. Kubarsi, he struggled in the beginning, I think, to figure out Geraldo Becker, and I understand that. Becker is, I think, taller than Kubarsi. He's also a bigger profile, and he's quick. So Kubarsi had a lot on his hands to do that, especially without Araujo. He's used to having that backup of that athleticism from him, but he didn't have to deal with that. That's good. I think he warmed up to it, figured it out, and then had a good game. There was also there was one pass back at the end later on in the match where he kind of had to swing his whole body around to get it to Ter Stegen, and it was good. Solid also, 7-2. I think he was a little bit better than a Ter Stegen, where I would put him. Inigo Martinez, I don't love him. I'm going to give him a 6.5. He played fine today. He made a couple last-minute tackles and covered for Cancelo okay. He played well, but I'm never the biggest fan of his. So I'm going to keep him there. Cancelo, a little bit of a mixed bag. I don't think he did anything really poorly, but there were a few opportunities on counters where he needed a little bit of a tighter touch, and if he did, he could get a shot off on goal or put in a cross or something, but he didn't have that close control, one that we usually expect from him, one that would justify us buying him. We need him for what he can create, what he offers going forward, and with the link-up play. And he looked good getting into dangerous positions at times, but there was nothing clinical about it. He lost his touch a little bit there, and we can ask a little bit more from him there. 6 6.5. He defensively wasn't strong today. I don't think he was poor. When Kubo came on, though, he was definitely not doing his best work, I would say. But I think he was fine. 6.5. I think that's reasonable. Now the midfield, Pedri, I'm going to keep him at a 6.5. I think he linked up well when he went forward, but there was one instance that I vividly remember at the back where he did lose the ball. He gave it away. Nothing happened, but it is just something that maybe he isn't fully comfortable in that position, that Frankie de Jong position that we've seen where it's his job to progress the ball, move it up the pitch. He didn't look perfect today in there, but when he went forward, which this whole team was very far forward most of the match, he looks okay. He looked good. He bounced the ball of Gundogan pretty well. We've seen them have pretty good chemistry this whole season and do that pretty well. But I'm going to leave him at about a 6.5. I don't think he deserves much more than that just because I think there were a few mistakes that he made. But now we get to Gundogan and Christensen. Christensen was okay. He has an interesting role just because he does move up the pitch. He's not the deepest midfielder, which is kind of weird for that, big defender who is in the midfield. But I think it's just, in my opinion, I think it's to open up space for Pedri or that creator, that progressor in the midfield. By him moving up, it pulls another defender with him. It'll create a little bit more space for Pedri or Frankie de Jong to move around. And he moved up okay. He linked up well. There were a few turns he had where he was in a good position to receive the ball behind the midfield line of La Real, and he was able to turn pretty well. So I'm happy with him. I'm going to give him a 7.5 today, just because he did his job. We don't expect a ton from him all the time, and I don't think he glaringly lost the ball in bad situations. I'm very happy with Christensen, the way he plays, but the problem is he's not that pivot. He is not that ball progressor, and I think that's what Xavi wants with Zubamendi or Kimmich. With him going after them, that's what he wants. That's the profile he wants. Christensen isn't that, but he offers those guys the defensive solidity to do their thing. So it's an interesting setup. Gundogan now, he was really good today. I don't think he was perfect. I think there were some link-up plays where he could have been on a better page with the rest of his defenders. There was one dummy that was meant for Lewandowski. Lewandowski didn't really see it, but I think Gundogan was one of our keys in attack going forward. He was really good, and I'm really happy with him. I'll give him an 8. He did get the assist for Lamin's goal, and probably could have got a goal today if he took the pen instead of Rafinha. But overall, good game from him, but a very similar game from him from what we've seen when he does move up the pitch. When he dropped back, I don't think he was great, but I don't think he was terrible either. And that's what happened when Christensen came off the pitch. Sergio Roberto came on and Fermin came on. Fermin occupied Gundogan's position. And Fermin, I think he was good today. Wasn't fantastic. He had one shot that got blocked that I was really hoping would get through. But he created chaos, pressed well. Give him a lot of credit for that. And I appreciated him when he came on. Brought in energy, and the combination of him and Rafinha was very exciting to me. So I'll give Fermin a 7. I think he did his job. He didn't score, though. He didn't assist anything, but he created some almost opportunities, and I'll give him credit for that. Rafinha, though, back to the starters before we get to the subs. Rafinha was he was good today. Now, the thing about Rafinha is that I think his end product was pretty mid most of the game. Some of his link-up play was very bad. Some of his link-up play was very good, but his pressuring, his defending was fantastic. Was really good today. He's always involved in the play, and it's just such an interesting profile, right? Because he's not a flashy winger. He plays very much so as the second striker, and that's where he was today. He was very central for much of the game. Lewandowski was out wide a lot, and it was working, especially when Ferran Torres ended up coming in, because Ferran just has more mobility than Lewandowski has, so that he moves the defenders even more than Lewandowski does, opening up even more space for Rafinha. The way he was making runs, fantastic. I'll give him an 8 as well. He did score the pen. It was a good pen. He deserves an 8. Lewandowski, Lewandowski, a solid link-up play. I'm going to give him an 8. I know there were a few mistakes he made with link-up play, but that's what's going to happen when he has so many chances to link up. It's not going to be perfect. He's also older. I'm pretty happy with the way he linked up today. I really didn't see any flaws in his game that were glaring and pissing me off in a way that would upset me. So I think he deserves an 8. If you disagree, okay, but I don't think he was much worse than that. Lamine Yamal, though, he's my man of the match. He was consistent throughout the entire game, beating his man, and he scored a really good goal and had a couple other opportunities to put something else on the score sheet. Didn't end up doing that, but solid game, great outlet as per usual, and defended okay at times too. So yeah, not much more to touch on for Lamine. I'm gonna give him an 8.5. I don't think he was perfect though. I don't think it was flawless. I think there were some chances where there was a counterattack glaringly that Rafinha was central, and he probably could have played him a ball in around when they were on a break, but I'm not going to say that was that terrible. He might have been offside. Somebody in chat said he wasn't fantastic. Yeah, that brings us to the subs. We're going to get on to what we had. Sergio Roberto, come on. I'm going to bring up SofaScore so I can see it right now. Our subs were Sergio Roberto and Fermin Lopez came on for Christensen and Pedri. I said that Fermin Lopez, I think he was solid. What did I say? 7, 6.5, 7. I think that's fair. Sergio Roberto, I don't know. Cleared the ball a couple times. I'm sorry if I'm glaringly missing anything with him. Fine, 6.5. I don't remember a ton from Sergi, and that's more or less a good thing, if I'm going to be honest. Yeah. Then Ferran Torres came on. I think he was really good. I'm going to give him a 7.5. It's a high grade for him, but I think he was really good in that creating and just creating some chaos up top and dragging defenders around, creating space for Rafinha to make runs for Fermin Lopez and Lamine Yamal to do some stuff on the counter. And obviously there's going to be more space as Real Sociedad push forward, as they try and create with Kubo, with Berenechea, and it almost worked out a few times. Ferran Torres did have a glaring chance that he missed. I'd argue it was a decent save, but it also wasn't a perfect finish either. Probably could have been better. He also could have played him for Fermin there. So I'll give him a 7. I think a 7.5 is a little bit of a stretch there. And then that's all the subs. Romeu came on for 2 seconds, but I really don't think that needs much of a mention here. And overall, that pen, we can talk about it for a second. I think it was a pen. I'm pretty sure it was a clear handball. A couple Madrid fans in chat were freaking out. It was a pen. And so I don't even think that deserves much more conversation. I think Barca played well today. I think they pressed well. I think they could have been better in possession. That's the biggest note of anything. Like, we're leaving a lot of space in behind us. That's okay if we are holding the ball very well, not giving them a lot of chances in behind us, but we did because we gave away the ball a few too many times. And so that's what I would ask of this team or hope for moving forward, is to be a little bit better than that. But I like to see this team succeeding with the Xavi lineup, the Xavi setup that we have seen fail over the past few matches. And it's nice. We created decent chances. I think we deserved that win. I think we deserved a 2-0 win as well. I like Xavi. I know I might be a big fan of his. A lot of people don't like him as much as I do, and I defend him a little bit. But Xavi's tactics work when he has guys that can execute it, and I think we saw a lot of that today with the way they were pressing. It wasn't perfect, but with the way Rafinha was pressing today, as well as when Fermin came on, and just even Gundogan was pushing up the field pretty well. He can't cover ground the way some other guys can, but they pressed okay. And just imagine Rafinha, Fermin Lopez, and Gavi in the squad together. I don't even know if they get in the team altogether, but the pressing there is exciting. So this was a good match in a game that, probably a lot of culés didn't really care too much about. I'm pretty proud of us. I take this dub any day of the week. I don't think Real Sociedad were great, but I think it was also because we were better. And so I'm happy moving forward into this next game on Wednesday. By the way, I'm not going to be live streaming. If you guys are looking to watch the live stream, I won't be on. No, it's Thursday. I won't be able to live stream it, but I will be back this weekend live streaming. And also, hopefully, we get 2 videos out on the main channel. I know it's going to be exciting for me. I haven't uploaded 2 videos in a week in a long time. We're going to try to get 2 videos out on the main channel this week, so you guys get more content from me and start seeing my face more. And I'll keep mewing for you guys. So I don't know. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Visca Barca, good win today. Good performance in a game that I could have seen this team being just really demoralized in, like we've seen with Liverpool, but we were solid. And so I'll take it. But all right, everybody. Have a good week. Be good. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.